Alicia, and we're gonna get started. It's my very first video here on YouTube, and I'm very excited to be teaching you guys something. Hopefully, I've got some information here, and I'll be drawing at the same time. Well, not really. I'll be drawing, so hopefully, if this all works out right, there should be two videos, one that's figure drawing and one that's of me talking to you guys. And today, I wanted to talk about what to do after art school. It's like graduation season now, and I think there's a lot of people who are going out into the world for the first time as professional artists that finish art school, and I'm so happy for you. So congratulations. I know what that feels like. It's an awesome feeling to finally be done with your thesis and to finally be done with your projects and to just like be set free. And so I'm going to start with 10 tips. As an alumni, I'm an alumni of the School of Visual Arts. I studied animation there and graduated back in 2010. So I've been out and free now for 6 years, and it's been pretty awesome since then. So here's what I have: 10 steps. Step 1 is figure out what you want to do career-wise. What is that ideal position for you? Have you always wanted to be a voice actor? Have you always wanted to be a storyboard artist? Don't, whatever that is, don't say, oh no, well, I can't do that. No, whatever it is that you want to do, figure out what that is. And once you have that, like, that's going to be your starting point, and that's going to help you make decisions for the rest of your career. I'm telling you, you can start now to make goals in that direction. Say you want to be a character designer. You can start practicing sketching people every day. Like, what are the goals that you need as that new position? What's going to get you there? Do you want to work for a studio? What studio is it? Where is it? Those are things that you really need to think about, because I mean, you might not even think about stuff like that, because you could be in Ohio and like your ideal studio is somewhere in Burbank, and maybe you want to like move out there. Like, what are the steps you need to take to move out there? Like, you got to know what is your ideal position, and do you want to work for a studio or do you want to start your own business? And that's, either way, it's possible for you. So just make that goal and make the action steps that you can take to get there, and that's going to be your first step. Step 2 is claim that title. Claim it. I don't want to sound like Oprah, but claim it. No, I mean, your next step is claim that title. Like, tell people, well, what do you do? I'm an animator. Where do you work? I just started working. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a position yet with the studio. You could just be freelance at first, and you might stay freelance for a long time if that's what you want. I mean, either way, whatever it is that you want to do, that's, it's totally cool, but claim it. Is that on your status as your employment? I know everybody's got that little thing on their Facebook that says, like, what is your job title? And you could have a day job right now. Like, you could be a cashier or a server or like a busboy. I don't know what you are. I don't know what your day job is. But if you have a day job and you have that listed as your employment on your Facebook, that's not good. Like, don't do that, because that's how the world is going to see you, as whatever you put out there, whatever you claim is your job, is your status. Like, that's how the world sees you. And it's just, I hate to see people that are really, really good artists and they have, like, as their profession listed as like a cashier or something. And there's nothing wrong with being a cashier, but if that's something that's temporary and it's temporary, like, seriously, you won't want to be there for like another month, then like have it as temporary. Like, don't even like tell people that. Like, I mean, claim the title that you want. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so step 3 on your 10 steps to what you need to do after you graduate from art school is to establish the habits that you're going to need for the position. Okay, so in step 1, that you picked the position of your dreams that you want to follow, what are the habits that you're going to need? If you're going to be something like a character designer, your daily habits might be doing people sketching every day, going to a coffee shop and sitting down and sketching, or wherever there's going to be a lot of people that you can sketch from live. Or you also might want to do like drawing from reference. You might use a book to draw from, or you might do some figure drawing. And you want to establish that every day. Like, You think that your ideal job might start at 9 o'clock in the morning? Do you wake up late in like 10 or 11? Start waking up early. Even if you're not even employed yet, start waking up early, getting your drawing in, starting those habits that you're going to need to do for the position that you want. The next thing you want to do is step 4. So find out what's available in your area. So one thing that a lot of people might be experiencing is ugh, after you finish art school, I don't know if you went to school in your hometown or if you had to travel. So a lot of people do go to schools that are not in their hometown. Are you going to be going back to your hometown, or are you going to be staying in your new location? And if so, either way, what kind of jobs that are art related are really in your town? After I finished at School of Visual Arts, I moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And after I moved from New York to Albuquerque, I realized in Albuquerque that there's not necessarily a whole lot of animation jobs available. So what the next step that I did was find out what is here, what is available, what can I learn from the art jobs that are here. So one thing that I did learn, there's a lot of fine artists, there's a lot of painters, sculptors, photographers, and you might be thinking, well, I'm an animator, what can I learn from them? Actually, a lot. There's so much that you can learn, even if it's not necessarily your field. Still dig in, find out what other artists in your neighborhood are doing, in your town are doing. Um, and learn from it. You might not even think that you might need it, but it will come really in handy. There's one thing, there was so many painters here that I decided I wanted to try out painting. And so I taught myself how to paint out of art school. And it helped me a lot actually, because now I know I can paint better in Photoshop. I can do my character colors better. I know how to actually paint backgrounds now, which I couldn't have done before very effectively because I wasn't very good at painting, but now my painting level has gone up so much since just practicing painting from seeing what other artists that were local were doing and learning from them. Another thing they're doing out here that I really actually fell in love with when I first moved here was a lot of Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos art. And I just was so fascinated. I'd never seen it before. I was from Brooklyn, New York. I'd never seen like stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I actually started practicing like that. And I would draw like, the like skeletons and stuff like that. And it actually helps me a lot with my anatomy now. So that's one thing, you never know how it can help you out. It helped me to figure out bone structures better. It helped me to figure out, how to draw the ribs and the hips and the leg bones better. I mean, I learned from that. So you can always learn from whatever is in your area. And the next step that I have, I'm going to take a breath. Okay. So after you find out what's available in your area, you want to meet the local artists in your area. Like I said, they might not even be in the same field as you, but you still want to meet people who are doing art in your area because you never know how that's going to come in handy. One thing that I didn't even like realize I would need is to really have other artists' contacts because like when you support other artists, they support you in return. It's like it goes both ways. Like you can help them by showing up to their galleries and seeing. I mean, you might not. Of course, you're starting out. You're going there. You never met anybody. Just start going to galleries. Start going to see what other artists are doing, and you'll start to meet people. Even if like you're kind of introverted, a lot of artists, especially in the whole storytelling world of cartooning and animation, are kind of introverted, and I get it. You don't have to necessarily talk to anybody. Try local newspaper and find out if they have listings for openings or like gallery events and just show up. And you don't have to talk to anybody. Just go and look at your art, look at paintings, and like, oh, that's neat. And eventually, people will start to recognize you. I mean, it might take a couple of times, but I was just in a gallery the other day, and I just go in there sometimes that I never really talk to anybody. But the gallery owner just came up, hey, you look familiar. I know I've seen you in here before. Yeah, because I show up. But it doesn't happen if you don't show up. You don't necessarily have to start making conversation right away. You can take your time with it, and people will start to recognize you. And it's really great to just get into the art world. and you never know where it's going to lead you, because like you never know when somebody might need an animator, you never know when somebody might need a writer, or whatever you do, somebody might need you, and if you don't put yourself out there, then you'll never know what's there. Okay, the next step in your steps the next step in what to do after art school is number 6. We're up to number 6 now. Okay, good. So make a list of all the contacts. Make a list of all the contacts that you have from your school, whether it's your professors, whether it's like other students, like doesn't matter. Just make a list with their phone number or email, something. Put their first name and last name. Keep it someplace. You can type it out, make a Word file, whatever. Just save it and keep. As your list grows, you might say, oh yeah, I remember so and so. Write them down, because you never know like what people are going to do after school, and you never know like when you might want to talk to somebody, when you might need a reference, when you might need someone to kind of help you out on a project that you're doing, or you can help them out on a project they're doing. Either way, it's going to help your experience, and that's just a great thing. So like you're always going to need those mentors, your professors, like. And don't burn any bridges, God. Don't burn any bridges. Be nice to everybody. I hope you were nice to people in school, but always just keep note of everybody, because you never know. I mean, there's people I went to school with. I mean, people that didn't even think, shy people, pretty quiet people, and now they're like doing great. And I'm just excited because it says that there's so much potential out there. They're working in the studios already, and even people that graduated like after me, and they're already working at like Warner Brothers or whatever. And I think it's awesome. I think it's great, and I think it's a good it's good to know that that's possible, and that's there's potential. There's still a lot of potential. And so after you do that, number 7 is clean up your social media. Oh my gosh, that is so huge. I think like the whole time that I was in school, and for a long time even after that, I was not even like responsible in my social media. Like I did not carry myself out on the internet, on Facebook, like a professional. And I'm just going to be honest about that. I just posted whatever I was thinking at the moment, and whatever I was just randomly. I didn't really care what people thought about it. I just posted it and just thought it was funny. And I mean, it hurts you in the long run. Like, I had to, like, seriously take a step back from Facebook, and I was off. I just literally just deleted my account for like a year, just to like get my thoughts right and think about how do I really want to be portrayed to the world, because really that is the world. Like anybody can see you, any potential clients, any potential like studios heads that might want to hire you, anybody can see you on there. And so I really needed to step away and think like, how do I want people to see me? What am I putting up? That is it going to help me in my career? Is going to help me in my future? Is it really something that's important to me? And really, there was nothing that I was really putting up that was important. Nothing that I was putting up that was helping anybody, and not myself. Certainly. So, and yeah, like I don't know, I think this is more of a girl problem than a guy problem, but not what I said before, but what I'm about to say. I think that like putting a bunch of like selfies or like stuff like that is really frowned upon. Because how do you want to be known to everybody? Do you want to be known for having like a new pair of cute shoes, and they might be cute, but do you want to be known for that, or do you want to be known as a really good artist? And I had to eventually decide, you know what, my outfit might look cute today, but that's not how I want to be seen to the world. I want people to take me seriously, and I want people to see me as a professional artist. So I'm gonna like consider what I'm putting up online. Like at the end of the day, what do I want people to see? I want people to see my artwork, and I want people to know me as that, and as a professional, not as an amateur. And if you post a bunch of stuff that's not important, then people will think you're an amateur, and that's just how it is. Number 8. I make a lot of faces. Number 8. You have to excuse me, I do make faces sometimes. Milk call did it, so it's okay for me. Anyway, number 8 is get a keepsake or a lockbox for your for all of your supplies and all of your textbooks and all of your notebooks that you got from art school. Like, you have no idea how helpful those can be in the future. Like, you won't even, like, I remember when I first graduated, I didn't even care. I just, like, I don't think that I kept, for the most part, I don't think that I really even thought about most of my stuff. And I lost about a good 4 or 5 minutes of animation, just paper animation that I just hand drawn out, and I just lost it because I didn't even like care too much where I was putting it. I wasn't putting it in a safe place. Textbooks, you're gonna need those textbooks. Don't sell them back, especially if it's related to your major. Don't sell those. Keep those in a special box and are in a special place where they're all together that you can refer to back, because you will never know when you'll need it. Your notebooks from class, like, it wasn't even that long ago that I was like just randomly like, oh man, I need that note from that art business class that I took, 7 years ago. Like, you never know when you'll need it. It will come in handy, and you paid for it. Like, I know, like, your parents probably paid for it, and but you have a student loan that you have to pay for eventually. I mean, your parents might have helped you, but still, it's money and it's knowledge, and it's, if you really love the field that you study, then of course you're going to want to refer back to it. So keep it and don't sell it, and don't like just toss it aside because you think that you're done. You're just getting started. Like, if you just graduated, you're just getting started, and you want to keep that stuff. It's like gold. It's like, seriously, just save it someplace safe. And all of your files, everything that you worked on, your homework assignments, even stuff that you didn't think was good or stuff that you didn't think was that important, just keep it. Just keep all of the stuff that you have. You never know when you might want to look back and refer to it. And the last one is number 9. We're almost done. This is so exciting. Get business cards. It sounds simple and it sounds like really obvious, but I don't know that everybody does it. Like, do you have a business card? I think the first step was like, deciding what you want to be. Like, what is the title that you want? Is it cartoonist? Is it animator? Is it character designer? What was that thing that you picked in step 1? Make a business card that reflects that. I think a business card is sometimes even more important than your website. I mean, that's something later. I'll probably talk about that sometime later. But having that business card, because people will, like, you never know when somebody might randomly like start talking about art, or like, what, oh, I need an artist, or you never know. Like, sometimes it just happens, like when you're in a restaurant, at church, you never know. It's just random. Somebody will start talking about it. And you'll be like, oh, and they'll ask you, like, one of the first things they'll ask you is, oh, do you have a business card? And you want to say, yes, here it is. You don't want to be um, you don't want to say, like, have the business card, have it ready, make it look nice. Don't get the ones that are just like text. Get like a nice, some kind of picture. It could be a caricature of yourself, whatever. Just get it and show a little bit of your art on there, even if it's just a picture of yourself or a picture of something that you made. Have like one little piece of art on there, and maybe link it to your Instagram or your Facebook, or something that they can see like what else you've done. So anyway, there's one more step, and that is to know your worth. This is step 10. Know your worth. This is so important. I didn't learn this for like the longest time, and I'm still trying to figure it out. That means know how much you're charging. Like, what are you charging for freelance jobs? I mean, probably you start looking for freelance jobs pretty quick out of school if you didn't already start doing that. So, like, how much do you charge an hour? Your hourly rate is like a great place to start, because then you can kind of like figure out if somebody wants you to do something, and you can kind of estimate how long it might take you. Then you can know what to charge. If somebody say you charge, whatever, like my hourly rate is $50. So if somebody charges you something that's gonna take like 5 hours, then I can say, well, that's $250. And also, so important, make sure that you get a down deposit before you start anything. Like, I don't care what they say, what they promise you. Like, if they're not willing to give you a deposit up front, then they're not taking it seriously and they're not respecting you as an artist. And I definitely would advise that you don't take that position. Always have a contract in writing. Not even, I don't care if it's for your mom. Seriously though, I mean, maybe your mom, whatever, but you know, anybody else, have it in writing. Like seriously, have it in writing and make sure that they put a deposit up front and they pay at least 50%. I would say 50% is perfect. That's gold. You don't have to charge them any more, any less, but if they put a 50% deposit, then that's great. And I think we're all done. And I hope the drawing is pretty helpful while you're watching me draw and talk at the same time, because I know I can't do both. I would just be like staring into space, so you don't want to see me just drawing. But I did want to give you this advice, and I hope it was great. I hope it was helpful, and good luck. Congratulations. Bye bye.